Very good morning, everyone. I warmly welcome you all to this special session on Impact of Budget 2025 on the insurance sector. And it is organized by Club INMOS of BIMTech. Before we begin, let me introduce our esteemed guests and our moderators for today's session. First, we have Mr. Jay Govind Tripathi, sir, a highly experienced professional in insurance industry, and he has worked in the different areas of insurance and is currently the principal officer and CEO of S Origin Group. Next, we have Mr. Rahul Chaurasia, who has been the part of Bajaj family for the last 18 years. He is currently the Vice President and Corporate Business North and East, lead in corporate annuity and lead group of retail. His experience in corporate insurance make him a key voice in today's discussion. Our third guest is Miss Anupam Tyagi, who has an over 30 years of experience in life insurance. She has held leadership positions, including Senior Vice President at Aviva Life Insurance, and recently she took a break from his corporate life and now shares her knowledge as the visiting faculty at Management Institute and advisor at GAFA. Moderating today's session is our esteemed and respected mentor, Professor Manoj Kumar Pandey. He is an associate professor at BIMTech and has a great expertise in insurance sector. We are grateful to have him today leading the session. And before we start, let me quickly introduce Club INMOS. It is a student-driven club that helps a student to gain deeper understanding of insurance industry. Our goal is to prepare future leaders who can adapt to the changing world of insurance. And we believe knowledge is the key to growth. And through this event like this, we aim to spread awareness about the industry among the students and professionals alike. Now, without any further delays, let's begin the discussion.
Thank you, Balaji, for this brief introduction. And I believe that he has got inspiration for our own Finance Minister Sitaraman ma'am, because yesterday she was very brief, precise, and to the point. So taking it forward, if at all we look at the different social media and other space also, there was a lot of buzz around the insurance sector and lot of expectations were there, precisely because we understand that IRDAI, our regulatory authority, had given a series of proposals to the Ministry of Finance, and to best of our knowledge, all those proposals are under consideration. So we were expecting a lot of activity in the budget itself in the insurance sector. But to be honest, I don't know. I did listen to the entire speech, and I found the mention of word insurance only 2 or 3 places. So in that way, maybe we, the insurance professionals, might not be that happy from this particular budget. But again, insurance is a business which is associated with everywhere, with all sectors. So even if infrastructure is doing good, maybe salary is increasing, taxation are being picked for the benefit of the customer, undoubtedly we are going to get the benefit. To understand this all, what kind of what kind of benefit are we supposed to derive from this particular budget? We have this good panel. And to begin with, just to make it a little bit simpler, I will expect all the panelists to give their maybe 1 minute opinion about how did they feel about this budget in overall, and then we will come into the insurance sector specifically. So ladies first, Anupam, I would like you to start this. How did you find this budget overall? We will talk about the insurance and the second part.
Hi, good morning, everyone. And thank you, Club INMOS, for inviting us and giving us the opportunity to say a few words, as Professor Pandey has told us. So as far as I think this budget is concerned, I am taking it as a very positive step for the industry. And especially the buzzword, the opening FDI insurance sector, inviting 100% FDI in insurance sector. This is definitely a welcome move, which has been demanded by insurance industry. This is expected to bring more international players, and obviously they are going to have more control, and they will not be dependent on domestic partner for capital investment. So this is one of the welcome move in the budget. And equating ULIP income with the mutual fund income, now the mutual income beyond the threshold of 2.5 lakh in ULIP is going to be considered as long-term capital gain instead of the normal marginal tax rate. So this should bring better, I think this will lower the tax income, the tax rate for the HNI individual as far as this ULIP investments are considered. And though industry's demand for expanding threshold for ATC and ATD insurance premium has not been considered, but I think this was on the cards. If we see the last few budgets, I mean, the finance ministry's approach is to delink saving instruments from the tax regime. And even with this 2.5 lakh cap on ULIP and 5 lakh on traditional products, I think which has not been, for me, the positive thing is that at least that threshold has not been touched upon. I still think that insurance products are having clear-cut edge over other saving instruments, because this is not a lower amount of investment. And another positive news for industry is for the investment being done in Gift City. So where the ULIP and traditional investments have been given tax exemptions. So overall, considering what we had before this budget, and with these three good moves, I think overall this budget is a positive move for insurance industry.
Over to you, Rahul ji. Your opening remark about the overall budget, and then we'll come specific to the insurance again.
So, first of all, thank you very much, sir. Let me start by telling that I am not an authorized spokesperson on budget, and this is also not my area of expertise. But I would want to tell whatever I read from the newspaper and whatever I heard Madam Sitaraman speaking. I would agree to what Madam Tyagi was speaking, and certainly 100% FDI brings in a lot of capital, and insurance is a capital-intensive sector. You know, we all have been professionals in the insurance sector for a very long time. One good aspect, and which is very fair also in that, is that they would want the policyholders' fund or the money that they're getting from policyholders to be invested only in India. Shareholder can always take away their income or they can reinvest in India, but policyholder funds has to be invested in India is a very good thirst and a boost to our economy overall. Second thing, which is also very important, is now ULIP becoming equivalent to mutual fund. That also plays a very, very important, significant role. Though the subtle message also with new regime going very, very aggressive, and probably many people will now want to offer new regime. I see that that the old traditional setup of Indian economy and Indian ecosystem was savings, but the thirst of saving, our parents used to say, buy a life insurance policy, buy something on saving. That thirst will probably slightly fade away in the new generation that is going to come beyond us, and that's one little far sight I see. But overall, I also find, and I would equate what Madam Tyagi has told. There's a beautiful representation of overall financial data, and I hope this budget will bring in a lot of growth to Indian economy.
Over to you, Tripathi ji, for your opening remark.
Yeah, good morning to everyone. And according to me, the budget is an excellent budget. There's a point related to the insurance, but I think beyond insurance also there are a lot of points. In terms of what is the outlay is given for the infrastructure, which is about huge 1,50,000 crore new project would come up. There's a plan to really take the Indian economy from estimated about 5 trillion to 10 trillion by 2030, and massive legal reforms are also planned. Now the government is saying that about 100 law will be decriminalized. Now, what it means that it will add to ease of doing business, because there is lot of apprehension of the global investor, global companies to really come and invest in India. Now, with this law being changed and being business friendly, the ease of doing business index for the India will certainly go up on the global index. Now, beyond that, if you see, there are a lot of other plans related, with the poor, with the gig worker, with the kisan, with the fasal bima, with the ship building industries. 25,000 crore, layout has been given, for the ship recycling, ship building. The government has planned to really, connect about, 120 new destination, through the Udan scheme. Now, what it means, that lot of airport will be built, lot of direct, indirect, employment opportunity will be connected. Warehousing, facilities for the air cargo, there is a special scheme, which has been, given by government during this. And, the most importantly, if you see, there is a massive change in the MSME. Now, as MSME, both in terms of, the investment and also the turnover. If you see the MSME as on today, their investment of a micro 5 crore, 1 crore, small 10 crore, and medium 50 crore. Now that investment limit has been increased to 2.5 crore, 25 crore, and 125 crore for the micro, small, and medium. Now, if you come to the turnover, now the turnover for the micro has changed from 5 to 10, small from 50 to 100, and for medium from 250 to 500. So what does it mean that, the Indian economy is really, ready to roar with the focus on the MSME, and MSME Act being in place that 2006, with this increasing limit, and MSME would really roll. So overall, it is an excellent budget. Insurance sector, of course, will benefit from all of these initiatives, both on general side as well as on the life side. So I would rate the budget to be an excellent budget.
Thank you, Tripathi ji. Literally, you made this budget very attractive for all of us, giving all that facts and figure. And you are absolutely right. If the economy is growing, we, the insurance professionals, will be getting benefit from all the sectors. Of course, if at all we go by the wordings of the budget, increasing the FDI limit to 100% was perhaps the biggest announcement as far as insurance industry is concerned. But my question to Anupam, does it make any sense to a general customer? I mean, when the limit was raised from 49 to 74, there were very few takers. This is also a fact that the last 10 years, not less than 4 to 5 foreign insurers, particularly in life insurance domain, they have either reduced their stakeholding or they have even exited the market. So, apart from creating a hype and feel-good factor, does it make any sense to the common customer?
I think it will, in the long run, definitely, and in the coming decade also, it will make an impact. See, a country like USA, there are around 5,900 insurance companies in all, life, health, everything. Even China, which has a population on our lines, is having around 200 plus companies, with both private sector and the government-backed companies as well. Even the country like UK, which has a very, very, smaller population in comparison to country like us, they have around 250 insurance companies. So definitely there is a scope in India, and with the kind of lower insurance density which we have in India, inviting larger players, more players from outside the country definitely going to help. And I think the 100% ownership will give confidence to these players also, because they will not be dependent on at least their domestic partners. So I'm very confident that this move is going to bring more players, and more players means more benefit to the customers, because there will be competitiveness. So even we will see after 10 years at least, there are going to be larger more number of players in insurance industry, because in India still we are having around 73 insurance companies only. So considering the size of our economy and population, the number of players are very, very few.
Anupam, another question to you. Do you see any increase in the retail participation, retail business? Because this particular, there are contradictory views. There was, if at all you see the movement of the stock prices yesterday when the budget was presented, life insurance company prices were fluctuating. Once it went up, then it went down, again it recovered back. There is an opinion that raising of this income tax limit and doing away with the so-called ATC and 1010D kind of tax exemption, insurance industry may, retail part I'm talking, may be getting impacted rather than the getting benefit. What is your opinion on this?
I think this is definitely a thought among insurance experts. However, if I see it, that this has been on the cards for several years. Even with 7 lakh rupee, the new tax regime, which was exempting 7 lakh income in the in the current financial year, there were around 72% of the individuals who has opted for new tax regime. Similarly, the capping of investments like taxing maturity proceeds over 0.2.5 lakh in premium income in ULIP and 5 lakh in old traditional products, industry has already absorbed the shock in my mind. So this has been the cards. So moving from 7 lakh to 12 lakh tax-free income, yes, there will be more takers for the new tax regime, but industry has already witnessed this shock and has, I think, overcome the shocks, at least from these two moves by the tax proposals. So if we think in the last year, there has been 6% growth as far as insurance premium is concerned, and the private insurance company growth was around 15%. So even despite these two moves, which are being considered as that these are not insurance industry friendly moves, I think industry has overcome these hurdles, and in the long run, definitely these are not going to impact industry too much.
In budget, of course, Rahulji is representing the group part. I mean, he has been the corporate business for quite long time. Though there was no specific mention, but I'm sure the increase in the revenue expenditure must have counted the possible increase in the salary and the pension of the government sector employee. Because now the 8th pay commission part has been announced. Do you see any good bumper business for the group sector in the life insurance? Because gratuity liability, every liability will jump the moment the basic salaries are increased. So what is your take on that?
So on a lighter note, listening to you, my boss should not increase my targets. Having said that, yes, there is indeed a lot of opportunity. I would first start with that's the take on FDI with Madam Tyagi was speaking about, and how I see. And if you would have observed, there has been a lot of, after last year, 100% FDI in the broking space, which was announced. There's been a lot of traction in the broking space, and why I'm using the broking space specifically because brokers are big partners in the corporate business, and you would have seen Lockton coming in India, you would have seen Gallagher going big way, you would have seen a lot of other large international brokers which is not present is now trying to open shops in India, which is, indeed means that India is a very large market. I would also want to quote my own General Insurance CEO Tapan Singhal Saab when he was in Davos. He told that India has a potential of more than 1,000 plus insurance company, and 73 is a very small number. And that is where I would also like to compliment what Madam Tyagi has told. And obviously, this would mean that India is going to have lot of business opportunities. Yes, a lot of other things and decisions and discussions have been happening on the sideways, and gig worker, which has been talked about in this budget as well. And this has been talked since 2022, I believe, if my memory is right, rather 2020, when they started with the revised wage code. Gig worker, especially, I have observed a lot of demand for group term insurance for gig workers. There has been a lot of talks about their gratuity and pension benefits for gig workers. So all this certainly add a revenue or a overall business potential for us. The eighth pay commission, and when eighth pay commission gets adopted by the PSU, the public sector undertaking in their own form, because eighth pay commission directly does not impact the PSU employees, they have to adopt it. Eighth pay will impact the government employee. So for the government employee, certainly the state government employee, the central government employee, when they adopt it, it will certainly going to impact their gratuity and pension liability on a defined benefit side in a very long way. We still have to see how this UPC, the Unified Pension Scheme, which is UPS, is going to impact the overall market. And you would have seen a lot of new pension company, PFM also coming in India, and that is also going to impact on the overall investment space. And that is also a very, very important indicator that the DII, the domestic institutional investors, are going to have a very long say in Indian equity market. To put it that way, insurance sector alone has now, the AUM barring LIC has crossed 15 lakh crores, which is a very large number. We have 4 insurance companies, including ours, which has more than 1 lakh crore of AUM alone, which speaks volumes about the insurance. And I'm only talking about the life insurance space. I've not yet gone to the general insurance AUM at all. So this all talks about that the way insurance industry and the way the sector is going. It has a very, very long and very, very great future prospects, I would say. Going to your straight question on how it will impact the eighth revised wage code, would impact the gratuity liability, how it will surge the pension liability. Obviously, when the salaries goes up, because gratuity is a function of your 15 days of last round salary. And the salary goes up, the liability goes up, and the liability goes up, the expenditure of the organization also goes up, and they'll have to pay a little slightly more on the gratuity. So it's for the defined benefit pension schemes as well. Even on the NPS side, the contribution would go up because it is directly proportional to the percentage of your salaries. So all this will certainly have a lot of impact. Having said that, I would like to again say that listening to you, my target should not go up, sir.
Fair enough. Target will go up, your achievement will always there, so your incentive will also grow up, dear. That's a fact. Tripathi ji, I mean, Rahul talked, and very genuinely he pointed it out, that when the FDI was increased from 74 to 100 in intermediary space, of course, we do have now 5-6 foreign entities owned 100%. I mean, Gallagher, Lockton has entered, even Marsh, I believe now they are 100%. Because you are from that same community, insurance broking, and CEO of a leading insurance broking company. Do you believe that more such changes will happen in days to come? आप लोग की जो बातचीत होती होगी शायद CEO के group में, what kind of filler are you getting, sir, particularly in the intermediary space?
Sir, like coming back to, taking it forward from what Rahul has really, expressed with respect to the opportunity which will emerge for the life insurance, and also Madam, Anupam Tyagi. See, 100% FDI is a really, it's a welcome move, because this is a capital intensive business, and today if you see, a lot of government companies are below the defined solvency ratio. Okay, and the government is worried about that. How do we carry on with these three at least government company where the solvency ratio is at the alarming level? That's the one issue. Now, when the 100% FDI comes, there would be opportunity for many global players who are not yet made the inroad into the Indian market. That is one. So we expect that some new player will certainly make an entry, and also the existing player, they will also try to really have a better control by increasing the current limit up to 100% FDI. Yeah. So and that that will create lot of buzz in the insurance market. Coming back to, sir, the intermediary. Now, intermediary actually will stand to gain from this. There are two reasons, because the market is still under fully not penetrated. If you see what is the penetration on the life and general, it is just minuscule. Huge opportunity for the broking industry to really penetrate. Coming to specific to what will be the opportunity emerging from this. Now, I spoke in my earlier lot of about 18,000 crore outlay for the infrastructure. When I say 18,000 crore outlay for the infrastructure, now the recent development in the insurance industry is the surety bond. Now, surety bond is the replacement of the bank guarantee, which the contractor have to give to the all the government entity who are running the project, like the NHAI, NHPC, NTPC, Indian Railways, state government, grid. Everybody is accepting the surety bond as a replacement for the bank guarantee. Surety bond, comes at some premium without any collateral or the cash margin, being given to the insurance company. Now, 18,000 crore means about 18 lakhs crore. The infrastructure outlay. 1% of the surety bond is 18,000 crore. 10% ABG PV is about 1,80,000 crore opportunity, for the insurance brokers. That's a huge opportunity, huge opportunity. And I am very actively working on a lot of surety bond. I see this as a great opportunity for really the insurance broking fraternity. Now, if you see the infrastructure outlay related with the the water for 100% people, there would be a lot of outlay on the putting the water related infrastructure in place. There is an opportunity for the general insurance, marine transit, project insurance, workman compensation policy for the worker, and many other direct indirect insurance which will fall in place. Now, other scheme, government also want to really go to the rural and gig worker, and also the the farmers. They are saying that 100% tax exemption to the insurance company where the sum insured is 2 lakh rupees. Now there have been always a apprehension for the life and general insurer to really reach out to the rural market. This will be a boost and also promotional kind of support for the insurance company to reach out to the rural market. They say GST exemption will be there for all micro insurance. A small ticket health, life, and the home insurance or say the vehicle insurance will have the GST exemption. Interest free loan to the insurance company, I don't know whether the broker will also benefit from them to have do the expansion in the rural sector. There's another boost which has come. Otherwise, if they have to borrow to expand, to borrow at the current, the interest rate could be 10-12%. Premium support by the government, for the new policy holder, particularly, from the rural sector. They say up to 1,500 rupees, the government will give the support to the new policy holder. PM Jeevan Jyoti Bima scheme and PM Suraksha Bima scheme, has been increased from 2 lakh to 3 lakh rupees. Yeah. Kisan Suraksha Bima, the government is saying that we'll give the 60% subsidy, to the farmers to take the crop insurance. I mean, it's the lot of direct indirect opportunity both for the general and life insurance. Of course, intermediary and would certainly benefit from, and we are very excited to really capitalize on all those opportunities as an insurance integrator.
Very well put, sir. And of course, we are expecting it is expected, I'm sure something will happen in the GST front also, because in last meeting it was deferred. It was not said no. And of course, there is there were some protests from the insurance company themselves that GST should not be abolished because they have got the problem of input credit tax. Anyway, but that good news is also expected maybe within 1 or 2 months if the GST on particularly on health side, sir, if it is reduced even from 18 to 5, that will give a good boost. So now we are running out of time, sir. We wanted
only
yeah,
one
please,
point, one point which I wanted to add. Yeah, I also come from the legal background. I'm seeing the insurance, service and claim settlement, very closely. I only wish that all the insurance company also are very fair and transparent in terms of settling the claim. That's very important because the trust factor of the consumer and any kind of consumer, be at the rural level, micro level, farmer level, the middle class level, or at the industry level. It is all about the claim settlement. If the claim settlement process, documentation, and even the timeline are really defined and fixed, so that all the consumer who buy the insurance at the time of claim, they should have extremely smooth experience. Though we find that opportunity in making our customer happy as an intermediary, but I think there are millions of agents, 100 for about 600 plus brokers, 700 plus corporate agents, and about I don't know, crores of claim being paid, but crores of claim are also being rejected or being put into some difficulty. I only wish that claim settlement process also is improved by the insurance.
Very well put, sir. This is a concern for all of us. Yes, Rahul, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one point which Mr. Tripathi was talking about, and that's on the we have been observing that government has a lot of thirst on the MSME space, and the very direct impact or indirect impact both on the MSME growth because we'll go in tier 2, tier 3 kind of cities and maybe small villages and rural areas as well, is that the demand of insurance will go very high, and that is where intermediaries like Mr. Tripathi and many others will play a very significant role because insurance companies still do not have shops there. And the way I look at MSME space, maybe 10 years from now, and it's going to be very, very large in terms of both the premium opportunity as well as business growth opportunity. This is also going to play a very significant role, and hence we need many more insurance companies and many more brokers to cater to that side of the business, which is still untouched and not very big. If I just give you a slight example and deviation from this topic, sir, if you look into the MFI space, MFI came in 2007-8, and today MFI, the MFI sector and MFI channel of any insurance company, especially the life and general side both, is a very significant percentage of premium come, and it is in our overall balance sheet. It plays a very important role, both in terms of profit, also in terms of the top line. So there are two very important factors that also has to be considered when we consider insurance as a space. And how the other aspect, while they would not have talked about insurance directly, but how the other steps that they are taking will impact us and will give us further more opportunities.
Fully agree, Rahul ji. And if at all we can see the tone of the budget since last year, I mean, even the government is very much aware that this urbanization and the urban jobs may not be that great. Better to invest more in the rural part, semi-urban part. Agriculture is getting started. The very first starting of the budget was from agriculture, and there was many schemes. Point by point, Madam Nirmala Sitharaman told. Anupam, would you like to give some comment? Last कुछ दिमाग में अगर आ रहा हो तो आप बता दें.
हाँ
Then I will
जी.
be taking. जो बोलते हैं ना वो इस बजट को आप किस स्कोर पे आप करोगे, दैट आई विल टेक द एक्सरसाइज.
Yeah, so apart from the customer perspective and industry perspective, I think operationally also insurance companies underwriting team may have to rethink about their guidelines, because now the up to 12 lakh there is no tax. So they may have to rely on more unconventional or non-standard income proofs. So there may be a thought process in insurance industry underwriting team. And revamping of CKYC system should also be a good move for industry, because it should ease customer onboarding. As of now, industry is not utilizing CKYC portal as such. But if the process will become easier, then it should ease onboarding process for insurance companies also.
Government is giving thrust on ease of doing business. I mean, we are supposed to have a new income tax rule next week. And I was just reading one news item. It said that maybe the length of that act will reduce to 1/3. So of course things are improving. तो सर द कंक्लूडिंग रिमार्क्स है, त्रिपाठी जी आप कितना स्कोर देना चाहेंगे मैडम सीतारमन मैम को आउट ऑफ स्केल ऑफ 1 to 10 फॉर
I would
ओवरऑल
like to
इकोनॉमी एंड
give,
फॉर इंश्योरेंस? 2 स्कोर देना है आप.
for overall economy, I'll give 8, and then for insurance, I'll give 9.
अरे बाप, आप तो बुलिश लग रहे हैं इंश्योरेंस पे. राहुल जी आपका स्कोर?
Well, I told you, sir, that I am a novice in the subject matter, so giving a score is something
As a
which is,
layman, as a common citizen of
as
India.
as a common individual citizen, I find this budget a great budget. While on the contrary, one very important point that anybody earning a rupee more than 12.75 lakh rupees pays much more taxes. So that's a very, very debatable thing that I would like to leave things on. Having said that, I find this budget to be good, and I would give 8 to the budget, and maybe for the insurance sector again 8, or rather I would 8.5, because I see a lot of growth opportunities there.
So that's great. Anupam, आपका रेटिंग?
आज मैं बहुत हमेशा ऑप्टिमिस्टिक रहती हूँ, so I always look for positive points. So I will go with Tripathi ji only, because I think it's a bold move.
Okay, so people like us who might not have been very happy yesterday, और maybe मेरे students भी जो सुन रहे हैं, they will realize कि जो चीज दिखती नहीं है उसके अंदर बहुत कुछ होता है ना, वो जो समुद्र में जो आइसबर्ग फ्लोट करता है केवल 10% दिखता है, 90% नीचे होता है. So I'm sure they will get this opinion and get this fact also, that though the insurance was not mentioned in the budget speech time and again, but the fact is that we are sitting on an ample opportunity, and it is up to us to explore those opportunity and get benefit out of it, particularly to my students, because they are going to make their career and they are going to be the superhero of insurance industry in years to come. So over
Manoj,
to you, Balaji, for your
Manoj,
formalities, if you like
I'm,
to say. Yeah.
I'm saying no news is also good news many times.
Yeah. And for your students, sir, you will have at least like if what Tapan Singhal Saab and if what Anupam Tyagi ma'am told, if there are 600 insurance company or 1,000 insurance company, look at the opportunity that your students have in times to come.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's great. चलिए बालाजी,
You should
over to you.
also, Pandey sir, Professor
Yeah.
Manoj Pandey sir, I think you should also increase, the intake of your students now. The way, insurance market, will grow, there would be need of, lot of, trained manpower, and institute like BIMTech, who are the premier institute, for the insurance education, should also plan, some expansion of increasing the intake of the students.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind
I think
compliment.
that gives you a thought, sir, that in next such discussion you should do it over a cup of coffee in your campus and discuss more how the institution as well as the students' opportunity can grow up, and we'd be more
Thank
than
you.
happy to be
Definitely we'll try
participating in
for
that.
this.
Okay,
Balaji,
sir.
over to you.
Sir, as we wrap up this amazing session, I want to take a moment to thank our fantastic guests, Mr. Jay Govind Tripathi sir, Mr. Rahul Chaurasia sir, Mrs. Anupam Tyagi, for sharing their invaluable insights. And of course, thanks you very much to our mentor also, Professor Manoj Kumar Pandey, for expertly guiding this conversation. Today we have covered a lot of ground. Mr. Jay Govind Tripathi sir's discussion on impact of SMEs, rural and infrastructural budgets and role of surety bonds also, and how crop insurance schemes are helping to protect our farmers. And Miss Anupama talked about how the importance of FDI limits tax exemptions to boost our insurance adoption and how we need to greater retail participation in the sector. And also, Mr. Rahul Chaurasia highlighted the growing importance and potential of insurance and the need of covering of gig workers and how the unified pension schemes is set to change the future of retirement. These are some of the key things that we need to understand, and that is a really important and a smooth clean process. That's our things that we have got to understand, and that is going to help us also in our future. So, with that, we conclude today's session. And thank you once again, and have a excellent day ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.